Good morning and welcome to the Buddhist kingdom of Bhutan. So let's have a look at the wild nature and the beauty that's here, because it is a stunning country. I loved it from the moment I landed. I can tell you this is a beautiful country that we'll come back to. But let's have a look at some of the history and the dzongs. We are here in the middle of Bhutan. I'm here with Rinchen, who has kindly agreed to be my guide for my visits around Bhutan. Bhutan has a very unusual tourism industry. You can't just get a tourist visa and show yourself around the country like I normally do. The regulations of Bhutan require you to spend a minimum of $240 a day, but included in that is the cost of all your accommodation, your food, and the guide which is provided for you to help you see your way around Bhutan. Because Bhutan is only opening up very slowly and carefully to the rest of the world. And Rinchen here is my guide, who has very kindly agreed to teach me about
gross
Bhutan.
national happiness. In Bhutan, gross national happiness is more important than gross national product. Explain to me, what is gross national happiness?
Okay, gross national happiness is the idea, it's the idea that has been introduced by the fourth king, His Majesty Bukgyalpo Jigme Sengye Wangchuk actually. The other country, they have a gross national product, the wealth of the country is measured by the gross national product, but we have gross national happiness. The wealth over here is measured by the happiness actually.
And how do you measure it?
Actually, the government set 4 pillars actually. The gross national happiness has 4 pillars, which is the good governance, preservation of culture and environment, economic growth, and the third part is conservation of forestries and all.
Yeah. So part 1 is
the good government.
Good governance. Part 2 is
economic growth.
Economic growth. Part 3 is
conservation of traditional and culture,
and 4 is preservation of the environment.
So let's talk about Buddhism for a moment, which is a critical element of the culture of Bhutan, being a Buddhist kingdom. I'm going to overgeneralize here, but Buddhism started from Lord Buddha around about 500 years BCE, before the Christian era. And he was a Hindu priest. He was kept within the castle for the first 18 years of his life, and snuck out one day and saw life around him. And he didn't like what he saw. He saw poverty, he saw death, he saw pain, he saw suffering. He, as with many people in those days, believed in the wheel of life. You are reincarnated and reborn until such time as you can escape the cycle of birth, life, and being reborn. He preached the way to get to nirvana, heaven if you like, was to reach enlightenment, a level of self-knowledge and self-identity such that you no longer had pride, you no longer had ego, you no longer had hatred. And that is the essence of Buddhism. Buddhism doesn't believe in a God in the same sense that Judaism, Christians, and Muslims believe. The essence of Buddhism is about self-knowledge, about getting to know yourself, about reaching a balance and a harmony with your own body, your own soul, reached through meditation. But like religions everywhere, when they sought to take over new territory, they adopted and adapted parts of the pre-existing religions that venerate deities that may be local to a particular area or local to a particular country. And hence you've had many schools of Buddhism develop. For example, Mahayan Buddhism, that believes that the Lord Buddha was not the first nor the last Buddha. They continue to be reincarnated. Let me talk just for a second about prayer flags like these. You'll see it's dispersed all over Bhutan and Nepal and Tibet. Lots of prayer flags like this. The prayers are written on the flags, and it is believed that the wind will blow the prayers to everyone they touch. So prayer flags are generally placed in windy areas with the hope that the goodwill of the prayer makes its way to all humankind. Okay, so Rinchen,
Yes.
explain to me what are prayer wheels and what are their purpose?
Actually, prayer wheels inside, they have lakhs and lakhs of millions and millions of mantra. The mantra of Guru Rinpoche and the mantra of Buddha of compassion actually. So the old people, what they do is they recite mantra which has which has a rosary of 108. So instead of that, if you make one tongue, so in one run only you can make millions of mantras, and in order that's why you get millions of benefits actually. You wash away all your sin if you
For every turn.
turn the prayer wheel. So it's a shortcut actually.
So after a hike up a hill,
Yes.
where are we now?
Now we are at Tangu Monastery.
Tango Monastery.
Tangu means a horse head actually.
Yeah?
Yes. It's built on the horse head. If you look from down, actually, it looks like a horse head. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And actually, it's built in the mid 16th century
Uh-huh.
by the Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Now his reincarnation is over here, just a child.
Uh-huh.
So it is also like a high institution
Yeah.
learning of the Buddhist monk actually.
Okay.
Yes, from the Zongs and all, they
Yeah.
come for high studies over
Yeah.
here.
So the best monks chosen in the Dzongs come here for further
Yes,
studies.
yes, yes.
Okay, we've just
I
been
want to
inside the temple. Who was the young boy we just saw?
Actually, that was Disiteng Namge actually. He was a leader in the 16th century who ruled the country. Actually, in those days, all the leaders were the Buddhist high-learned masters. So he was the head of both the administrative system and the religious system, the dual system.
Back in the 16th
16th century.
And this boy is the reincarnation of him.
Yes, reincarnation.
And we were very lucky to meet him and
Yes.
be blessed by him.
Yes, usually we don't meet actually.
Yeah.
This is my first time meeting and
First time.
having a honor to
Yeah.
meet him and getting blessed
Yeah.
with him. I'm very lucky actually today.
Wow, I'm glad to have brought some luck.
Yes.
And we were given the yellow string that we tie around it.
That we call it a sumki actually, to prevent from the bad luck and from disease
Yeah.
and all. For 3 days actually we can wear that, and but we cannot throw it on the ground, or we have to either burn them or keep it in a safe place, hang on the tree and all.
Okay.
Because it has got some value.
Yeah. So after 3 days, he has to instruct me on what we do with this after you
Yes,
take
yes.
it off.
Yes, maybe on the hill pass we just tie it on the prayer flag. That will be better.
Okay, we'll do that. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do our round.
Yes.
What's the role of religion in culture?
The religion actually and the culture goes together.
Yeah.
So if the religion is a cup, then the culture is the tea actually. So like we cannot drink tea without a cup.
Yeah.
Or neither we cannot drink cup without a tea. So
Yeah.
it has to go in together. So the tea is there, the cup is there, so we are drinking tea.
Yeah.
So if both of them are separate, then we cannot drink tea. There's no tea actually. That's why the religion and culture like are together and goes together in Bhutan.
Now we're on the cantilever bridge, which is a traditional bridge,
Yes.
about to go into the Dzong.
Yes.
Now I noticed before we go into the Dzong, you've put on your full traditional clothes and your white scarf. Can you explain
Actually,
why?
it is compulsory for all Bhutanese to respect the Dzong wherever the Bhutan flags are, because it is also an administrative block, and there are also temples and all. And like to go to the temples and administrative office and where there is a Bhutanese flag, we Bhutanese are compulsory to wear our traditional go and the scarf actually. And this white scarf is for like scarves are rated actually. The white one is for ordinary people like us, and the yellow ones are for the kings, and and like orange and all are for the ministers actually.
So whites are for common people.
Yes.
Yellow is for the king.
Yes.
And what colour for the ministers?
The ministers are the thing orange, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's a Sunday and archery is more or less the national sport, so let's watch a little bit of the archery. Yeah, so the team who gets 2 points, they do their singing dance. What happens when they get 3 points?
This thing also, the dance, wild. Yeah? So to be an archer, you have to be a good singer also.
3 points for a bullseye, 2 points for hitting the white target, and 1 point for hitting the soil at the same distance as the target. That's how they score it. So, how much fun is this when you get together with your friends, drinking and playing archery?
Actually, usually I don't drink, but usually not usually, I don't drink, but I really enjoy playing it.
Yeah.
And moreover, I'm lefty,
Yeah?
not righty, yes.
Yeah, really?
And lefty, like in Bhutan, there's a saying, if you are lefty, then you are a sharpshooter.
Ah,
But I don't know.
are you?
I'm not that much good, but I'm okay.
Okay. Okay, so we've talked about a number of things about gross national happiness. We've
Yes.
touched a little bit on economic advancement. Now, I've noticed that a lot of the country is subsistence farming.
Yes.
You also have markets like this. So tell me about the level of economic
So in
development.
terms of
here.
economic, the government has already worked actually.
Yeah.
The number one revenue income is through hydroelectricity
Yep.
project. Like we have around 21 stations, and most of our hydroelectricities are sold to India actually,
Yep.
and other part of the world. That's why we get the maximum revenue from hydroelectricity power, and
The kids are enjoying it.
and yes, of
Yeah.
course. And the second one is through agriculture.
Yeah.
You must have seen this beautiful, small town actually. This is a capital of. This is a capital. This is a town of Wangdi Fodang, which the local farmers, they come here, they try to sell their thing actually.
Yeah.
They get money, and with that money they try to do something with agriculture.
Yeah.
So the second one is, before it was agriculture, but now it is a tourism actually.
Yeah.
Second, but because of economic recession,
Yeah.
that we didn't have much this year, and through that, we
So-
were working on that.
A lot of the towns have little markets like this where the farmers will come and sell their produce and stimulate economic growth, but you really hope your main growth will come out of hydroelectricity sales
Yeah.
and through tourism.
Yes, and it is estimated that after 10 to 15 years, because we are in this river actually, we are building another hydroelectricity project which will come in a very clean way actually.
Yeah.
We don't cut tree or burn coal to produce electricity. And since water is everywhere in Bhutan, we have so many rivers.
That's true.
So we make use of water, and now we are building a very big hydroelectricity project which will produce around more than 1,500 megawatts of power. And it is estimated that within 15 years only, the Bhutan will actually become one of the richest country in Asia.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
I've noticed one other thing. Most of the shops, in fact, almost all of the shops, the
Yeah.
signs are very simple, blue and white. Is there some sort of regulation that prevents?
Yes. That's a government policy actually, to have a similar signboard, because it's looking nice actually, blue and white. If everyone has a similar.
So there's not much work in Bhutan for advertising agents.
No, actually, even for the election, there were two parties. If you have noticed, actually, we have a particular election board.
Yeah.
Only there, the parties were to advertise,
Yeah.
and they cannot paste everywhere they like actually. So we have a very strict government.
So in terms of economic development, we have hydropower, we have tourism, and the continuing development of markets such as this.
Yes.
I'm now with a whole bunch of road construction workers. Seriously, these have got to be the most beautiful road construction workers I've ever met in my entire life. And where in Bhutan are they from? The north or the south or where? So you're in here. There we go. So they're all from southern Nepal.
Southern Bhutan.
Southern Bhutan, originally from Nepal. And what are their names?
नाम के हो? Vishnu Maya and तिम्रो? Sumitra.
Sumitra. And how old are they?
कति साल उमेर कति भयो?
मेरो कति साल भयो?
16.
16?
18.
Wow, 18.
18.
Wow. So they migrated from Nepal
Actually, yes, in 1972.
in 1972.
68 actually, like
Yeah.
and the southern part of Bhutan, like there are many like now population which
Yeah.
amount 15, let's say from 100, 15% of the Nepali population in the southern part of Bhutan.
Really? And why did they all come here?
Actually, when they like construct a road,
Yeah.
in 1968 actually,
Yeah.
for labor and for workers, like for experienced person, we hide them actually.
And like these two, of course, are born after 1968 and
Yes,
after
yes.
1972. So why are they working on the roads and not in school or education or choosing some other work?
That I don't know, like that depends
Ask
on.
them. Ask them.
किन नपढेर किन काम गरेको अरे आमा?
स्कुल नपढेर चाहिँ किन काम गरेको भने
स्कुल पाएन नि पहिले अन्त
पहिला पाएन
हजुर
अन्त फ्री थियो एजुकेसनहरु चाहिँ किन पाएन?
पढ्नु त पढेको तर प्रब्लम भएर नि
They had some certain problem like a family problems
Yeah.
and all, you know. That's why they drop out actually
Yeah.
from school, and
Because education is free here, yeah?
education is
Yeah.
free over here.
Do they want to go back to school?
पर फर्केर पढ्नु जाने? जान्दैन होला.
पढ्ने नि है
Well, it's a beautiful place to work, and I'm sure it's very difficult and smelly work, but
Yes.
tell them I wish them the best of luck and thank you for their time for talking to me.
अब कुरा गरेर पुरा खुसी भयो अरे अब राम्रो होस् अरे तिमीहरु फ्युचरमा राम्रो बुढो
And find him for your husband. He's a good man.
म पुरा राम्रो छ अरे म पनि बिहे गरेको छैन अहिले अरे
Or learn English and telephone me.
Even he's a bachelor, right?
I'm still a bachelor.
So both of us are bachelor.
Yeah. So we're two bachelors. Who are two women looking for husbands?
Only thing is, he has got a secure job and I don't have a secure job.
Ah, well, it doesn't matter. You can all travel. Anyway, good luck. Thank you.
तपाईँ पनि आएर
should keep going.
यहाँनिर हामीसँग बोल्ने राम्रो लाग्यो
What did she say?
So like they are also very happy that you came here,
Thank you.
talk with their, not everyone, you know, come and talk, interact with them actually. So
I know some people might be tempted to disagree with me, but one of the things I like about Bhutan is the mix of old and new. The 16th century temple and a 21st century mobile phone tower. Rinchen and I are about to go into this temple. It's a 7th century temple. It's one of the oldest in Bhutan, built before Buddhism officially came here. But that's a separate subject from what I want to talk about now, because we've talked about economy, we've talked about gross national happiness, and as you know, when I go to different countries of the world, I like to find something positive about globalisation, because globalisation's very easy to chastise. A lot of people do it. And you know what I'm excited about? Something I found out about Rinchen the other day. When we go into temples, we've got to take our shoes off. And when we take our shoes off, we see our socks. And what sort of socks do we see, Rinchen? We see golden toe socks. Now, golden toe socks. Now, I've got a bit of a fetish about socks. They've got to be knee-high. I don't like these little ankle-high socks. And ankle-high socks are very hard to... Sorry, knee-high socks are very hard to find, except in the United States where you can buy golden toe socks. But what surprised me was when we've gone into a temple and I've looked down at Rinchen's toes and I've seen golden toes, and I look at mine and I've seen golden toes. This is a positive thing about globalisation, when a Bhutanese and an Australian both have fetishes about golden toe socks.
That's going to be
So, tell us, what is this building?
This is, we call it Tashi Chezong, which means the forties of glorious Tukpa. So it is like any zone, like any forties in the part of the country. This is a capital actually. So half is an administrative block and the other half is a religious block. So this is where His Majesty the King, his office is, and the chief abbot of religions office are. So there are around 200 monks over here, and the administrative system, which like some administrative office are like outside actually, but most are inside.
And over this side is the National Assembly, the new parliament for the new democracy of Bhutan, directly opposite the administrative centre and the King's offices. I'm in central Thimphu, the capital of Bhutan, and over my shoulder here is a traffic cop. Let me tell you something interesting about this traffic cop. Bhutan is the only country in the world that has no traffic lights. And Thimphu is the only capital city in the world that has no traffic lights. Kigali comes close with 3 sets. Now, the 4th king wanted to build some traffic lights and they put some in here. The people then complained and said traffic lights were too impersonal. So they pulled them out, sent them back to India and returned this traffic cop. So this still remains the only country in the world without traffic lights, the only capital city without traffic lights, and these guys come here each day to do this. This over my left shoulder is Tongsa Dzong, where we'll be visiting tomorrow. Tongsa Dzong was one of the most powerful songs before the unification of Bhutan, because this is smack bang in the middle of Bhutan. So the road east to west would have to pass through, in fact literally passes through the Tongsa Dzong. So the Penlop, the governor of the Dzong here, was the most powerful in the country because he could tax all the trade east to west. Before the unification of Bhutan, Bhutan was ruled from each of these Dzongs, and a Penlop or a governor was the unanswerable authority to each of the areas, and the first king managed to unify each of the Penlops and have them agree that he would become the hereditary king of Bhutan. And the first king had previously been the Penlop of Tongsa and ruled from the Tongsa Dzong here, which is why historically, before the Prince Regent can become king, he must first spend a time being the Penlop in Tongsa. That's correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So in terms of good governance now, part of the gross national happiness,
yes,
what we've seen between the 4th king and the 5th king is a move to democracy. The 4th king was the one who decided we'd have a democracy, right? Yes,
perfectly, yes. I think now it's he must have thought it's high time that Bhutan should move forward and become, to give actually. He don't want to hold the power in his own hand. That's why he gave his power to the people actually. Actually, the government lies in the hands of people actually. The future lies in the hands of the young generation. That's what he repeatedly says in wherever he goes and all in his speech actually. That's why he really wanted to hand over the power, and he don't wanted to keep all the power. That's very kind of him. But actually the people said no, you know. Some they cried, you know. We want monarchy, we don't want democratic and all. Yes, that's absolutely true, but like nobody can say no to, or once again, nobody can say no or yes to the king, because over here, the king is not considered as a leader or a king, but king is also considered as a god. So that's why they don't want to go against the god.
So one of the remarkable things then about the 4th king is he took over the throne at the age of 16 in the mid-1970s, and he was an absolute monarch, yes, unquestionable, in control. And he's the one that decided through a process that Bhutan would become a democracy. And he announced in 2005 both that there would be a democracy and that he would abdicate. So between 2005 and 2008, there was a long consultation with the Bhutanese people, a circulation of a draft constitution, yes, which took place in 2008. The king abdicated and the king crowned his son, correct?
Yes, absolutely right, actually, yes. Because, yeah, you're right.
So it's remarkable that this is one of the few countries in the world where an absolute monarch voluntarily, yes, handed over to a democracy, and it's also one of the rare times in history where a father has voluntarily abdicated and then crowned his own son king.
Yes, he was very kind actually.
Today, Rinchen and I are going up to another monastery called the Tiger's Nest, which is up there somewhere, through the fog and the mist. Now we'll really see who's the most fit.
Yes.
Memories glistening in foresight, embargoes capturing the moon.
Well, at least walking up the Tiger's Nest, there's some really beautiful places. Long cut, short cut.
Human rights coloring the seasons, hatch lights and covered at noon. Land grabs a signal illusion, laughter that captures the night.
Now Rinchen is truly, truly frightening me. We all hear of four-leaf clovers, and yes, he found one when he was 4 years old, and yesterday he found two. One in the botanic park and one in the temple. Okay, he's found another one. But this one's hard. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4.
It's a baby actually.
It's a baby. Now, it's not as well formed as the one of yesterday, but this guy has found 3 four-leaf clovers in 2 days.
I might find another.
If he does, I'm going to make him a guru and we'll build a temple. Rinchen says he's 50 and he can run. Ready?
Beaming and moving, the system is gunning, the fallout, the freedom, the bedrock is heaving, the pistons, the cars are screaming, he keeps on rising, the children are seeing, the humor of wages, a gamble with the ages, burn all the wages, consuming, frustrated, smiling, the money is meaning, the meaning is money, it can't be deceiving. And I was running down the side of a mountain, running down a mountain with speed. Yeah, I'm coming down. Yeah, I'm coming down. Through the forest where the kidneys musing softly, through the bracken in the shadows of a mountain stream. Do you think
We're nearly halfway up. Rinchen's there, and Tiger's Nest is there. I don't know, maybe something is lost in translation between, what's the language here? Drunka. So maybe something was lost in translation between Drunka and English. But Rinchen tells me it's now flat. Let me show you his definition of flat. That is not flat. That's not gradual either. Take a look at the scenery.
Relax to the audible hum. Let loose in the sea of your pastime. Sister, your time has surely begun. And I was running down the side of a mountain, running down a mountain with speed. Yeah, I'm coming down. Yeah, I'm coming down. Through the forest, in the wilderness, with a soft wind, through the bracken in the shadows of the mountain stream.
Okay, Rinchen and I have made it to the viewpoint. There's the Tiger's Nest. We've come from down there, below the clouds. And to be fair to both of us, we might be puffing a little bit. It's not so much that we're unfit. It's that This is 3,000 metres high. To put that in perspective, this is a higher altitude than anything in Australia.
Yeah.
So, well done, Rinchen.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's have a look at the Tiger's Nest. Before we go, the Tiger's Nest was built when?
Actually in 8th centuries, but like later it has been constructed. Actually, the Guru Rinpoche, he made it over here around 3 months because he subdued it, and this is the second time where the Guru made. And later, so many great lamas and all, they have come and made it over here.
Guru Rinpoche came here on his second visit to Bhutan. When was that?
8th century.
8th century.
Yes.
And Guru Rinpoche, he was the one that brought Buddhism to Bhutan originally.
Yes.
Okay, so this marks the spot where he came for his second visit to Bhutan and meditated.
Yes. And riding on the tigress actually. And
riding on the tigress, and his tigress was his consort, and the tigress wrote all of this down. Okay, forgive me for being a little bit skeptical about that last part.
Yeah, it's maybe a mythology, but that's what the history say actually. The tigress was none other than his own consort, who wrote all the Buddhist prayers and all. Actually,
it's actually one interesting thing about history in Bhutan. History isn't written as fact. History is written just as much as mythology, and there's a real dividing line between mythology and fact.
yes. But a lot of Bhutanese people, they still believe this actually.
Yeah. Okay. It's raining.
Yes.
Let's go have a look at the tiger's nest.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, all you can hear is the gentle wind through the breeze. In the distance, you've got the sound of a river down in the valley. You can see on the other side of the valley the rice terraces and fields. This is an incredibly beautiful country. You're just wandering around and you come across a gully like this with a gentle stream twinkling its way through ancient trees with green moss dangling gently off the side, the crystal clear water just making its way down. This area is largely untouched for centuries, albeit the odd person bouncing through on the back of a horse, and very recently maybe in some sort of vehicle. If you are in search of serenity or peace, this is the country to come to. I mean, look at it. The most beautiful, untouched, pristine countryside I've ever come across. Just wonderful. We're going to go and see the national animal, the takin.
Yes.
And there are two stories behind the takin. There's the scientific, and then there is the legendary.
Legendary or
Mythological. Where there was in the 14th century, 15th century.
I think 14th.
There's Drupka Kinley.
It's known as divine madman actually.
Divine madman. Because he was a crazy lama.
Yes, crazy lama, always
crazy
going
lama.
for girls, you know,
Always.
wine and all this.
And he's the reason why they paint penises on the side of houses,
Yes,
is that right?
yes,
Oh,
that's true.
this I've got to show you some photos of. Anyway, we're going to go and see the takin. And the legend behind it is the crazy madman. What he did is his followers asked to see a miracle. So he ate a cow and a goat and then put the goat's head on top of the cow's bones, and then it stood up and walked away as a live animal, which is the takin, the national animal. The scientific answer is that it's an animal which is not directly related to another species, so it's got a subspecies of its own. So let's go and have a look at the takin. You know, some other countries might have national parks that are this beautiful, that you protect way off in the wilderness somewhere. But here in Bhutan, that's right in the heart, because there, down the valley, you can see the Dzong of Thimphu, the capital. The whole country is this pretty. I'm here, exactly in life where I'd like to be. In a high mountain field where at about 3,000 meters in altitude in Bhutan, completely surrounded by this magnificent nature. A small stream twinkling down. Beautiful wildflowers leaving their pollen on my jeans as I walk by. It is breathtakingly beautiful, breathtakingly natural, breathtakingly untouched. And if I were to sum up Bhutan, I'd use the word breathtaking, because it is just such a beautiful place. Where else in the world can you go and sit in a place like this? So, as I'm walking by each of the prayer flags, the one thing we can reflect upon in Bhutan is the importance of the Buddhist religion to both the spiritual and the Templar side of the country. The essence of
tolerance, the essence of self-knowledge, and the essence of pacifism, which comes from Buddhism, is one of the reasons that you find here in Bhutan such a sense of serenity and such a sense of peace. If you ever need a holiday to come and find yourself, and a holiday that will give you an experience that you haven't had before, Bhutan is a place to come. It's a place to enjoy standing on a wind-swept plateau above magnificent valleys, listening to the wind whistle in your ears and the flapping of the prayer flags behind you. Goodbye from Bhutan.
J'entends